Wait no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, you can listen to this show wherever you get your podcasts and the video version over at YouTube at The Trophy Room. And if you like what you hear, please consider dropping us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, or if you really like us, toss us a buck our way over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. So with all that said, and with all that out of the way, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson, how are you, sir?
Doing fantastic.
Let me tell you something.
Feeling good. We're on fire, I feel like. It's going to be one hell of a show.
It's going to be one hell of a show, and we got one hell of a news week, man. We got all the news out of Lucasfilm Games, like the announcement that this thing exists. We're going to be talking about an Indiana Jones game. Star Wars now just breaks its exclusivity with EA. We're going to get an open world Ubisoft Star Wars game. We're going to be talking about PS5's not selling that great in Japan. All that stuff. All that stuff, Kyle. Before we get into all that, first off, and before we even talk about what you've been playing, how have you been feeling the past week, man? How you doing?
I'll be completely honest.
Go for it.
Because this is what we're here about.
Yeah. A
weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
Okay.
Because I was worried about you real bad, Joe, over the break.
Thank you.
And I realize it's been a few weeks now since you told me you're feeling better, but I was feeling real sad and real worried for you, and I'm happy to just continue to hear from you that you were doing so much better.
Yeah.
It's like that really was weighing on me, because not only are we stuck at home, but like I couldn't, even if I wanted to go and help, I couldn't.
Yeah.
So like, oh, man, it sucked.
I'm considering myself so very lucky, of course. I also have that like kind of survivor's guilt. Like, and if anybody missed last episode, I got COVID. Someone in my house wasn't as careful as they should have been. Gave it to everybody. Everybody is fine for the most part. Nobody had to go to the hospital, but I was the one that scared a lot of people with my breathing. And so like for the most part, I feel very lucky. I feel very blessed. I'm still dealing with some of the things. So like I still got the cough. If I'm breathing a little heavy during these next few weeks, that's because my lungs aren't at 100% yet still. I have still COVID fog. So like my memory is still not all there, and my motor skills I've seen kind of taking a dip. And a few other things. So like I'm not at 100 yet, but I'm getting there. And that's the best thing. I'm still trying to take, my time and not overstress myself. Like, when we're talking about what you've been playing, I haven't been playing a lot of games because that takes a lot of energy, and I got that COVID fatigue where I'm just like, just so tired sometimes, and then I get this burst of energy towards the end of the day. It's so weird, but yeah. I'm of course happy to be here and talking with you, and now getting back into the rigmarole of things.
Yeah,
right. We're talking about game news, which you would think in January, slow, but not this week. Disney wanted to do all sorts of things, but before go ahead. Before we get into all that, before we talk about you getting sad about Hogwarts as well, what you been playing, dude?
So like you, I've been finding myself not playing a whole lot, and it's not that I don't have games to play.
Right.
I have the Pathless downloaded, played that for maybe an hour. It's not grabbing me as much as I wanted to.
Damn it. Okay.
Maybe it's just because it is so wide open.
Yeah.
I think that was also my issue with Breath of the Wild, why I didn't really stick with that either, just because it's just like, here, go.
Yeah.
I'm 10 hours into Valhalla. I finally hit the title screen.
That's awesome.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about that. Like, I have Watch Dogs Legion I can play. I don't know, give Bloodborne a good old college try. I don't know.
Everybody's doing it now. I hate to say that I started the trend, but I started the trend.
So there's just something that's preventing me from really diving in. I don't know what that is, but I have gone back to NBA 2K a little bit.
Okay.
And fooled around with the franchise mode, and It's really deep. I love it. It's very customizable, whether you want it to be an RPG or just straight up just a sim-like experience where you don't have to worry about your owner unlocking skills and being able to change ticket prices and jersey prices and whatnot.
Whoa, we've got to the point in sports games it's like man. Tycoon.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I like how it can cater to that. But even then, I think I'm done with that. I'm honestly looking forward to next week because Cyber Shadow comes out next week.
Okay. I'm personally hyped for Hitman.
Yeah, Hitman's not next week though, is it?
I think so. I think it's
also. If you're wondering where the games of the month for January is, that's on me. I didn't feel like there's enough coming out to warrant a full video. So that'll be back in February. It's literally Cyber Shadow next week. It's Hitman 3.
Yeah.
It's Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to those three for sure. Okay. I just need to... I need a kick in the ass to be like, Kyle, go play a game.
It's kind of like gamer paralysis right now.
Yeah,
there's so much to choose that you can't choose. Like, I just started getting back into Watch Dogs Legion, and it finally clicked for me. And then like all of a sudden I just kind of dropped it, and then I was like, let me try Maneater out.
Oh hell yeah!
Maneater is so stupid. Like I'm literally like 15, 30 minutes. Yeah, it is so dumb. I don't even know like the enhancements of the PS5 version, but I'm also so in. Like, this game, I don't know why it hasn't.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So I can't wait to play a little bit more of that. But what I have played, the thing I really want to highlight here, is Little Nightmares 2 demo out on the PlayStation Store. And it's a PS4 version. The next-gen versions aren't out yet. Right now, it's the previous gens. They'll be out, I believe, February 11th. So I got to try out the demo. And let me tell you something. I've never played Little Nightmares 1. But this is a platformer that kind of gives me Limbo-esque vibes because of how creepy it feels. It just feels really like it's atmospheric horror to me so far.
There's something about the art style too, which is very creepy.
Yeah, it's like you're this little like kid with a paper bag mask walking around this like creepy forest, and you get yourself into the cabin, and it looks like you're rescuing other children from like this butcher that's turning people into dolls. Like, the platforming element it's interesting because this game is a platformer. It's a side scroller. It's working with environment and stealth mechanics rather than going super fast to solve puzzles. You're really trying to sneak past things. You're trying to solve puzzles as well, but you're trying to do it slow and stealthy, which I really like. And the music and the ambiance really give to this, like, just creepiness. And when you hit the crescendo of the demo where you're actually being hunted by this psycho murderer guy, it is tense. And it is kind of like brutal when he catches you and like shoots you with his like hunter's rifle. It is kind of freakish. It's not like gory or anything. It's just, there's just something about it that just freaks me out. And I'm so in. I'm actually thinking I'm going to try out Little Nightmares 1 before I try out Little Nightmares 2 again, because it was making me uneasy, man. I was digging my time with it.
I just looked up who made Little Nightmares 2 because I was trying to rack my brain. I'm trying to be better at that. I want to try to remember the developers' names and of these games.
Yeah.
Tarsier Studios?
Yeah, they're Swedish.
They made, obviously, Little Nightmares 1. Little Nightmares 2, of course. Mm-hmm. They did that game Static, a PSVR exclusive.
Okay.
That was apparently pretty well received. And then they helped make Tearaway Unfolded.
That makes so much sense.
So I think you describing Little Nightmares and how that is feeling.
Yeah.
And the type of, that makes sense knowing that they helped Media Molecule with Tearaway Unfolded on PS4.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, this game, again, a great platformer as well. Because it's like simple puzzles. It's also simple platforming. It's really trying to sell you on the environment and how creepy it is. Yeah. And it's selling me, man. It's selling me.
That's awesome.
With that, before we square up the news, let's do a little Patreon pitch here. Of course, each and every week, if we ever got you through a long work day, long car ride home, chores, whatever the case may be, it really does help us out if you toss up a buck our way over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. And every week we'd like to shout out some of our members, like our newest member, Ian Riley, at our bronze tier, our platinum members, Todd Burowitz and Too Soon, our gold members, Chaotic Monkey, Gavin Goffrey, Giffrin, Wes, Jose Jimenez, and Jedi Master Ren. Our silver plus members, Hide Indoors, Marcus O'Neill, Ray Martinez, JB, the Purple Monkey himself, Jadis Von Metal, Tim Ulf, and Justin Rodriguez, our newest silver member. Thank you all so very much for your support. Again, it really does keep the lights on, this show going, and hopefully in the next few weeks, we're able to get some new equipment in here, and you're going to really see how beautiful our faces can get. It's going to be fantastic. So,
and as far as me getting drunk and Joe eating spicy things,
we hit 50 members.
We hit 50 members, so thank you very much. We appreciate you so much. Your support means the world to us.
Yeah.
Joe needs to recover from COVID before we can do that, because that's just another bombshell on his every system inside of him.
Yeah.
So
it'll set me on fire.
It's coming. It just won't be anytime soon.
Hopefully by the end of February, when everything's settled, I can start getting real messed up with hot wings on the show. What a stupid goal I had. It was so easy to hit, and we smashed it. What are we going to do at 100 patrons? God only knows.
Yeah, who knows?
I'll juggle chainsaws. I don't know.
Don't do that.
Oh, bro, I got reflexes. With that, Kyle, listen.
I got
reflexes.
All right.
Listen. It's time, for the first time in 2021, to square up the news. And my goodness, is it a doozy.
Oh, man. Please, gaming news. It's the beginning of the year. Slow down. Joseph Screbbles from IGN writes, Lucasfilm Games will announce more projects in 2021, including EA Star Wars games. Lucasfilm Games has announced an open-world Star Wars game from Ubisoft and an Indiana Jones game from Bethesda in the last 2 days. But it's not done yet, with more announcements to come this year, some of which will apparently be unexpected. On StarWars.com, Lucasfilm Games VP Douglas Riley explains that the recent Lucasfilm Games rebrand, quote, is really the culmination of years of preparing to come out and say, we're here, we've got a team of people, we're going to make a lot of great games, and here's some new things you weren't expecting from us to do that we're now starting to do, end quote. And he continues to quote, my apologies. And that's going to continue throughout the next year or so, where we're going to continue to announce projects that are more representative of the legacy of the old Lucasfilm games that we're now trying to live up to, end quote. Those games will include Star Wars projects from EA, who previously held that license exclusively. Quote, while we may not have a lot of details to share at the moment, says Riley, we've got a number of projects underway with the talented teams at EA, end quote. And it's not just about a slate of games in development already. It's clear that Lucasfilm Games is now accepting pitches for games based on its licenses too. Quote, we're looking to work with best-in-class teams that can make great games across all of our IP, Riley continues. We've got a team of professionals here at Lucasfilm Games who could work with the developers, shape the stories, shape the creative, shape the games to make them really resonate with fans and deliver across a breadth of platforms, genres, and experiences so that all of our fans can enjoy the IPs that they know and love, end quote.
Man, oh, man.
Good Lord almighty.
First off, way to shake the dust off there, Kyle. You did fantastic reading that news.
I stumbled too much. I gotta get back into it.
Whatever. You know what? New year, new us, you know? This is awesome. I mean, on so many multiple levels. First and foremost, I think the EA exclusivity deal now being over, because we're going to get a open world Star Wars game, which we'll get to in a sec, is awesome. But I also want to just say this, Kyle. I want to get on my podium. This also
Please
sucks. And it sucks because we didn't have to do any of this. Like, when Disney bought LucasArts, we got these head honchos coming in, and then they just killed the games division. And now to see after, failed game after failed game to finally get a really awesome game, which is Jedi Fallen Order from EA, we used to at a time get like 1 or 2 Star Wars games a year, and they were pretty damn freaking good games as well. And to see and maybe every 1 or 2 years you get a Star Wars game that's maybe not that great, or hopefully, or hopefully lives up to, Fallen Order, which was fantastic. And then just to get a slew of mobile games, it is disappointing to see that they have to ramp back up. But, and I want to know what you think of this, Kyle, because I think we got a question in that kind of alluded to this. Is this the best course for Lucas? Like, in terms of kind of going the Marvel approach, or would you have rather them stuck with their guns with LucasArts and have their own teams making these games? Or do you like that they're branching out to like massive, or we'll talk about in a second, Bethesda to make these games?
I'm a big fan of what it looks like they're about to do, and they're about to go the Marvel route.
Yeah.
And pick super talented studios to put their trust in their IP and their licenses and these major franchises in their hands, make a good game. I'm really a big fan of that. This is nothing against LucasArts. They make some really fantastic games, or they made really fantastic games. But I'm liking that approach, because then you're not going to, have a bidding war for a license and then be hands off and be like, all right, whatever comes out, and it could be shit, right? Yeah. It could be really terrible. I'm with you though when you were talking about how we could have had this, right? EA tied it all together and really handcuffed Star Wars fans, and prevented them from getting these kind of experience. Possibly this might be, me expanding too much, and there's a term for what I'm trying to do here, and it's not coming to my brain. Go for it. We could have gotten a Star Wars level of Marvel's Spider-Man type of game already at this point,
right?
But because EA was, shutting down the Star Wars 1313 game, they shut down Visceral and Amy Hennig's game. Those could have been it. Those could have been the things. And nothing against Fallen Order, that is a fantastic game,
right?
But we possibly could have already had a major game in the Star Wars universe already.
Yeah, I think so. To me, I do think Fallen Order, I don't think is on the level of Spider-Man.
But it's pretty close.
Up there, and I think it just sucks to see how far that took, or how long it took to get there. Because I remember Battlefront 1, and we're just like when we saw the trailer of the AT-AT, and that's how you're supposed to pronounce it, not what is it? AT-AT? God, you're disgusting. If you do that, you're disgusting. Give us the 1 star. I don't care.
Do you say SNES or SNES?
SNES.
Okay. Yeah. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
All right.
But when you see the AT-AT stomp on the snow, that teaser trailer, we were all hyped. And I think hindsight being 2020 is, locking such a huge IP with just one publisher is such a mistake. It's such a mistake. I mean, we had the grand visions of, oh my God, we're going to get a Knights of the Old Republic. That never happened, right? And then when we saw, Battlefront, oh my God, this is going to be sick. This is going to be awesome. But that ceased to be. Knowing that you had to put multiple studios behind these games, and they're not going to be a yearly thing, or even sometimes bi-yearly thing. It is disappointing to see how it was handled. And I really do agree with you. I do like the Marvel Games approach of, hey, you know what? Okay, Nintendo, make this game. Hey, PlayStation, make a Spider-Man. Doing that. Even, some that are duds, like with Square Enix with Avengers. Going out there and going.
And I would even say Iron Man VR. It didn't do that great either.
Right. So seeing those games, and look, I mean, that's a great example of maybe the Marvel method isn't as great, and maybe we think it is because we just think of Spider-Man, but
that's true. Mm-hmm.
But I think it is also gives you more flexibility with your IP when you're just okay, so publisher A could do this, publisher B could do that. We'll get some indie devs, because I really like what they say here. They're also accepting pitches. Like some of their point-and-click adventure games, which none of them are popping up in my head because they weren't with me.
I brought up a list of what Lucasfilms...
Or LucasArts at the time.
LucasArts now owns, like their property or whatever.
Yeah.
Howard the Duck, which I guess is part of Marvel again. This is an old article. This is from 2012 when
Go for it.
Picked them up. Willow.
Yes. Who could forget Willow?
Labyrinth. Indiana Jones, Young Indiana Jones, Twice Upon a Time, which I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And then the LucasArts games like Maniac Mansion. I think other than Grim Fandango, the biggest one is Secret of Monkey Island, the Monkey Island games.
That's the one I was thinking, yeah.
And there's another one called Loom in this article, but...
And just think about that, though, dude. Like, think about, like, Secret of Monkey Island and, like, giving that to Tim Schafer, right? Or giving Tim Schafer, like, Grim Fandango again. Like, just... Or just, like, an indie developer going, like I saw the tweet from Devolver, like, we'd like to make a Star Wars. Like, and letting them have it? Like, and what nonsense could come out of that? That's awesome.
So that tweet is exactly what inspired the franticness of before we started recording.
Yeah.
Because they're like, what is this name of this character? And we finally figured it out. It's Bastan from Rogue One.
Yeah.
Who's like old Wookiee bald man with the gray eyebrows.
With the biggest mustache.
He's on a turret in the chopper.
Yeah.
In the film, very briefly, but I want a Devolver game specifically around him.
Yeah.
I want to know his backstory, and if he teams up with this Talpini guy, from Rogue One as well,
this just looks like a grumpy old man.
Give me a buddy cop team with these two. Give me a game like that.
I hit my mic. That's great. Well, and here's the thing. And so they open up with that, and we're like, okay, this is cool. That's great, right? Lucasfilm Games, and that is a weird mouthful to say.
Why not just go back to LucasArts?
I know. That one hurts because I love that logo. Anyway.
Yeah.
The day after, Kyle, we get Indiana Jones. And it's going to be published by Bethesda. And who's developing it? Machine Games.
The most important thing. Machine Games, baby. That is super exciting. I love when a developer is like, you know what our thing is? Games where we're killing Nazis. And you know what? I'm okay with it.
I'm all up for punching a Nazi, whipping a Nazi, shooting him. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Indiana Jones. A video game. Mm-hmm. First question, because this is a PlayStation show. Xbox bought Bethesda. Kyle, what does this mean? Is Indiana Jones an exclusive? Are we going to pontificate on this? Absolutely we are. Kyle.
I'm not going to waver from what I said back when it was bought out. I think this is going to be a Xbox exclusive. And I think as a PlayStation fan and a PlayStation owner, we are not allowed to complain about that if that is the case.
Yeah.
Because we have Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We have no grounds to complain if Machine Games is making an Xbox exclusive Indiana Jones game. Mm-hmm. And we should be fine with that.
I'm not, Kyle.
Well, screw you.
Here I am, all pompous and shit. No, I think you're right. So first, do I think this is an exclusive? No, I don't. I do think the way Xbox did word their relationship with Bethesda in terms of the acquisition is that ZeniMax and Bethesda are partnership. That's how they talk about it. It's a partnership. What that means, because if they look, the ink dries in February, and if they fire everybody in that publishing division or half of them because they just don't need them anymore because they're redundancies because they're part of the Xbox publishing, fine. I'll eat my words. But this does scream to me that Bethesda is Microsoft's third-party arm. If I'm Microsoft, do I really give a shit about selling consoles? Like in the grand scheme of things.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I want to make as much money as I can, especially if it's a big AAA thing. If I'm taking a look at Spider-Man PS4, first off, when you take a look at the bottom, it tells you the publishing. At the end of the trailer, it tells you publishing by Marvel and Sony. When it goes to the end of that trailer, it says published by Bethesda and ZeniMax. Nothing about Xbox. So that's my other little hint to this. But when I take a look at Spider-Man and why I think Marvel kind of allowed it to be exclusive, I take a look at that and go, okay, probably allowed it to be exclusive because of how many PlayStation 4s were out in the marketplace compared to Xboxes at the time.
Sure.
Even when it comes to like Marvel Ultimate Alliance as well. I don't know how that one got exclusive, so you can argue that point as well. But I also would argue that I think it's a smaller IP than what people think it is. That being said, look, I think it could very much well be a exclusive for Microsoft, and I'll eat my own words. And honestly, if that's the case, Kyle, guess what I'm gonna do? Just gonna play it on my Xbox. I get it. We're a PlayStation show, but like, fine. I'll get over the fact that I can't get a trophy. I will try my best.
I'm with you on that one. Yeah. I prefer trophies, but the moment I saw etched in that typewriter, Machine Games,
dude,
I'm like, I have to play it no matter where it is because I love Machine Games.
Yeah.
So like. Now, hands down, Game Pass on my PC, fine. If I own a Series X at that point, great. Like, I'm going to play this game regardless because I want, even though like I'm a little fuzzy on Indiana Jones movies, I'll be completely 100% honest. I've seen them besides the Shia one.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's what I've heard, so I don't feel too bad about it.
But Kate Blanchett's there, like the bad guy in it. Kate Blanchett can punch me 3 times in the face, and I thank her for it.
That is 100% fair. Yeah. I'm excited for another adventure. I'm sure this comparison is being thrown around a lot. Uncharted-esque adventure with indie on Xbox.
Now, first and foremost, I want to say I'm right there with you. In terms of like, I'll play it on my Xbox. Just give me that adventure. Give me Indiana. My thing with indie is actually a little bit special to me, especially the first one, because I watched it. I remember it's one of the early movies I remember watching with my brother and my dad. And that used to be like a weekend like thing where we'd watch a movie. And that was the first one where I saw the Nazis face melt, and I flipped. I flipped the fuck out as a kid. That gave me nightmares for weeks. It scared me. And then the second indie with him and Sean Connery, I loved that one as well.
Was that Temple of Doom?
Yeah, no.
I think that was number 2.
I think that was Kali Ma, I think, is Temple of Doom. Nonetheless, I have a special attachment to one of these movies. I know I'm a fake fan, but so like I'm pretty pumped for it. But Suddy writes in, and listen, Suddy's a good man. I'll answer all of his questions on this show, no matter what. He writes in, what if Indiana Jones gives us the same adventure feels as an Uncharted? And I think this is the first thing people take with Indiana, because we think of, Tomb Raider having that obvious influence with Indiana Jones. We're thinking of Uncharted with the obvious connection to Indiana.
Temple of Doom is second.
It's Temple of Doom is second. We think about Uncharted having that influence with Indiana Jones. Do you think, though, it is going to be like an Uncharted clone?
I think they're 100% going to take some inspiration from Uncharted. I mean, why would you not?
Sure.
I don't think we're going to be shooting 1 million people as Indy. I think it'll be a little bit more stealthy and exploration style of game. Because I don't see Indy going into cover and shooting a whole lot in this game.
Okay. I kind of don't want it to be an Uncharted game. Which, listen, if it is and Xbox got their own Uncharted, that's the one thing everybody's saying. That's cool. I would like them to do something different, because I think that's where people are expecting it to go. Take it somewhere different, man. Like, it doesn't need to be an Uncharted clone or a Tomb Raider clone. It could be its absolute own thing and own it. Like, I would love it to be kind of like a hub world. Like, if anything, steal a little bit from, like, Uncharted 4, where, like, you have these hub areas that you're going to and
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
exploring it that way. Like, I would love it that we're in a big bustling like Egyptian city and then we're driving out to like the pyramids or whatever, right?
Sure.
Or like we're in France and we're like, you know, we have to go to like, you know, like, I don't know, the Rhine or whatever the case may be. Like, have it be a big open hub where we can explore, where we can, fight some Nazis and uncover some secret stuff. I don't want it to be like, the one thing I don't want it to be is a prequel. Like, this is how Indiana started. I do want it to be like, this is where Indiana has left off. Maybe making it so that Kalima never happened, the third one, and just doing its own thing from there. You know?
Okay. Can I ask a question that I don't see a lot of people bringing up?
Go for it.
How do we feel about Todd Howard being the executive producer? After how he handled Fallout 76 as the executive producer.
That's a good question. Look, everybody gets one dud, right?
Sure.
I think Todd's pedigree is he's made some really great games. My only thing is, because it's Bethesda, is there going to be bugs? But I get reassurance because of Machine Games. I think when we talk about like executive producer, that's what his role is. I think he's really just more of a supervisor role because I know he's also working on Starfield,
and Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah. So I think it's more of a kind of a Sherpa role more than anything. What about you?
Yeah, I'm a little leery because not being like a huge Todd Howard fan before 76,
sure.
But doing the show with you and reading his not really saying sorry and like not really apologizing and still being smug about how 76 launched and all the problems that it went through rubbed me the wrong way when it comes to Todd Howard.
Sure.
But like I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I do like how there was, I don't know how long ago the picture was, but Todd teasing the Indiana Jones thing because he has the Holy Grail, I think, above in his office on a
I love with
shelf.
like the age of Zoom.
Right? Yeah.
We've gotten to analyze people's desks. We're looking at
that's right.
fucking
Phil had the Series S, right?
Right.
Back there.
We had Jeff Keighley with like the Batarang. We're like, okay, here it is, and it never happening. Like,
oh, the GeForce thing too was on the countertop.
Was it really
the new graphics card thing? Yeah, I think it was in the background of somebody on one of the GeForce architects or whatever. I think
PCs? Who would have thought? But yeah, like that is weird that now we're going to have in the age of Zoom, in the age of social distancing, which you shouldn't wash your hands, wear a mask. Is that like we're going like people are now going to be like, okay, so what's that rectangle back there? What's that all about? What's the picture with these kids? Are they making a kids game?
Yeah.
Is this family? Someone,
you know what I should start doing?
Yeah.
Once a month, I'll hide something in the cases back behind me, and it's up to you to search to find it.
Or like something is subtly changed, and people have to.
Oh yes,
yeah, like
that'd be fantastic.
But listen, Jedi Master Ren has a question for us. All right. Okay, so. When Lucasfilm Games news dropped, I nearly lost my voice from screaming so loud. You know me, a lover of Star Wars. I couldn't tell from the name. So obviously this was big news for me, especially with how destructive I feel EA has been with the franchise. Do you think it's time to give Star Wars reins completely back to Lucasfilm's games? I'm thinking make them the head honchos for an upcoming or coming up with new ideas for the franchise. And if they need an extra help to look at, to collaborate with other studios, like we see them doing with Bethesda and Machine Games for upcoming Indiana Jones game. That is the big question, Jedi Master Ren, is like, with them partnering with so many people, right? Mm-hmm. How do you keep the lore where it is? Like, how do you keep the lore under control? And I think that is why they went with EA in the beginning of like, we just want a sole partner in this so that they can make it a little simple and a little easy. But I think the way that you do this is, like you make them a Marvel Games publisher situation where you're lending the IP out to people. And you're saying, hey, make me an Imperial era, make me an Old Republic era game, make me a sequel game. And I think you have to have a team involved, like a Kevin Feige in there, kind of tying everything together. I think you need a council of folks that know Star Wars, inside and out, And I think that's how you make that work. You know what I mean?
Sure. To go, because this popped in my head when Ren asked this question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think it's time Star Wars reigns were giving completely back to Lucasfilm Games? And I would have said 100% without a doubt yes.
Yeah.
But then we got Fallen Order.
That's true.
So that makes me pump the brakes a little bit, because if everything is given back, then Cal Kestis' journey and what Respawn's doing with that, we wouldn't get a follow-up to.
Yeah.
Or it would be in a different studio, and it might not feel the same. It might not have the charm that Respawn put into that game. So I'm a little hesitant about just giving it all away from EA, but if we just want to let Respawn keep Fallen Order and everything else get parsed out, I'm totally fine with that as well.
I think EA is going to have more Star Wars games. I think I think Jason Schreier even said it. This works well for both of them, because the new management came in towards the end of this deal and they didn't want Star Wars, because again, they want to own their own IP forever and not have it, oh shit, we got to sign the lease type of deal.
Re-up. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
hey, EA, do that with Madden, please. Let it go.
Please.
Let other people make a professional football game.
Do Dead Space for the love of God. But I think you're right, Kyle. I think lending it out to multiple people is the way to go. I just think they need a council of folks and make sure that the lore is tight.
Absolutely.
And Fallen Order, again, it took so long, but man, that is such a special game. Even with hardcore Star Wars fans, like the Saber community that my brother belongs to, you want to know how much a full decked out Cal Kestis Saber is with all the attachments and all the things?
I don't know.
Close to $1,000, Kyle. Close to $1,000. Yeah. That's with all the electronics in it. You could get it without it, and then it'd be like a couple hundred. But people really love that Saber, and they love that game. So yeah, I think handing it out to other developers is just the smart choice. Christian writes in, and same with Famous Seamus, same with Mario Rivera. They all asked similar questions, so what I did was I merged them into one mega question here. You can too. PS Trophy Room, write us in, or over at Twitter, or over at the Discord, the Trophy Room Discord. You can send us your questions. We answer them on the show. And Christian asks, which studio would you like to see tackle the Star Wars IP? I think a Mandalorian game from Quantic Dream would be great. Branching encounters across the galaxy as you chase down a bounty. Are you kidding me? And Famous Seamus adds, if Lucas Games were to allow a PlayStation developer to work on any Lucasfilm property, which one would you want to see make a game? And then Mario Rivera adds, what era of Star Wars would you like to see them make?
A lot of Star Wars. Which is not a bad thing. No. This is more Joe's forte, but without that Devolver thing I said earlier aside, even though I would love to see that game with us.
Dude, I would fucking kill for it.
Man, what kind of game do I want? I think the game that I would want seems like we're getting from the massive doing the open world Star Wars game, a story driven open world game, which is
I'm gonna say something so controversial. Go for it.
But I think going off of Seamus things, what studio developer? It's easy to say Insomniac. It's real easy. And I don't know if you saw it, but one of the tweets today with the massive thing, doing a Star Wars game, James Stevenson, who's one of the Insomniac heads or leads,
right, and your cousin,
spelled differently, but it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Put a crying face emoji, pick us, let us do one type of thing, we feel left out. So, God, could you imagine?
So, okay.
Insomniac's already got way too much on their plate. I'm not saying do another thing. No. Eventually, I want my Resistance games back.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to slow your roll when I tell you something beautiful. So
Yeah.
what would I want? Like a Mandalorian game, first off, that's what I want Massive to work on. I want two games, and I know this one's going to be very, very controversial. A games of service game from Massive.
Ooh. Okay.
One person said it on Twitter, give me the Division, but just make it Mandalorians. Like, put the Star Wars skin on it. I'm fine. Like, just think about it, because I think that game could serve as a great template of, like, here's all the gear I have, but it actually matters, and you're changing the cosmetic look of them. You're changing up your main rifle, your main blaster, or, like, tweaking it, or just, like, transmogging it to make it look the way you want, and having different Mandalorian gear that, you know, you have your exotics, you have your plain Jane, like, grays or uncommons, your blues, your purples, and then, yeah, the crazy orange one that looks super cool. That gets me really pumped. Like, I would play the shit out of that game. And, yeah, have it where it's, like, you know, you're taking cover, or you have, like, Ultimate-esque abilities. That would be freaking awesome. Like, you get, like, risk rockets, or you're like your jetpack you get to choose from, and you're hopping from planet to planet, hunting down people from the cartels. Like, there's a lot you can do there, especially with the smuggler and cartel portions of, like, the spice trade in Star Wars. You could play a lot with that. So I think that's cool. I think that's what I want Massive to do. For me, though, if I'm picking a PlayStation studio, Kyle, I would want Insomniac Games to take over, Republic Commando. You want your Resistance game? You fucking got it with a Star Wars skin. Republic Commando was so ahead of its time back in I think it was like 2003, 2004, around there. Like, George Bush was president, and this thing was making moves. Like, this game was super competent, and it ended on such a great cliffhanger. And the thing that made it feel so great was it was squad based. So you can make this thing co-op. You could command your other commandos to do, you know, A, B, C, or D.
2005.
2005. So, like, at the same exact time, the weapons felt so freaking cool. And the Republic Commandos, again, have a love within that community. And if there's anyone that has shown how much respect they can give to an IP, that's Insomniac. Yeah. So what era would I want it to be? I want it to be in the Clone Wars, Mario Rivera. I want a Republic fucking Commando game. And
right.
If I'm doing a Mando game, we can make it during this Mandalorian Civil War. Whatever is happening in the Mandalorian, where they want to reclaim Mandalore, or just make it to one of the Mandalorian Civil Wars. Bam, have that in there as well.
Yeah, I had two ideas of what kind of games that I want.
I'm sorry, I'm breathing that, Kyle. You can
That's fine. I want. I don't know if this has been done. I don't. What it probably has. I want an open world game from Massive.
Sure.
Or maybe it's another open world game. I don't know. That is, you are a Jedi as the Purge is happening, like during the Purge, and you have to freaking figure shit out and get out to safety.
Like, you're one of the kids that escaped
right?
in
Yeah,
that room.
Yeah, for 100%. You need to try to survive. Spoiler alert, you're not going to, but like, it'd be a cool idea. The other one is, I want Fire Access Games who make XCOM to make a strategy XCOM game with a Star Wars skin on it.
What era are we doing it?
You're the Star Wars person here. It doesn't matter to me, but let me control Ewoks, a team of Ewoks.
All right, then it would be
in the XCOM skin.
Okay.
And like, Ewoks will die; they're gone forever. You can rename your Ewoks, or stormtroopers, whatever.
Just Ewoks, Kyle.
Just Ewoks.
All right.
You know what? I want an Ewoks survival simulation game. That's what I want.
Well, they technically have that in Battlefront 2. Where,
do they?
Yeah, where you're the stormtrooper and you're being overrun by Ewoks.
Oh, man. I gotta buy this game right now.
It's pretty crazy. Randy Heisen Jr. writes in, Indiana Jones and Star Wars are getting new games. What is another film franchise that you would like to see get the video game treatment? Ooh. And what studio would you like to see make it? Also, Kyle's the best. Love you, buddy. Keep up the great work, guys. Proud of you.
Proud of
cool.
you, Randy.
It's cool. I wasn't,
Randy's amazing.
That's fine. I'm not jealous. Kyle, what is another movie you'd like to see get the indie treatment? Taking it going to a video game.
We're gonna hit it because this is a something that I mentioned when we talked about the studio's next game, what it possibly could be. Give me a Naughty Dog Mission Impossible game.
Fuck, I was gonna say Mission Impossible too.
Give me a Naughty Dog action set piece game with Mission Impossible. Yes, please. If Naughty Dog is not going to space, I want them to go full on action. Spy kind of stuff with Mission Impossible.
My only thing is, like, Last of Us also is very stealthy. You know what I mean? So you're gonna make him go super stealth?
Is Ethan Hunt stealthy in Mission Impossible?
I mean, he does a laser thing. You're right, but yeah,
sure. But he's also high. He's hanging on the side of a plane.
True.
He's flying a helicopter real close to the road.
Can I choose to be Henry Cavill? He does the arm pump thing. You're like, oh fuck, this guy's. He just cocked his arms. You know, like a gun. What? Choke me. What? Shut up.
I'm trying to think of other movies though that we haven't gotten.
Right.
That would be cool.
I think an actual
Transformers games,
like an actual what you call it? Damn it, Fast and Furious, but like an actual one, not like a bullshit what they tried to give us last year. You know? Sure. Yeah. That's what
a Quiet Place would be cool.
That's another like
that's
stealthy.
Another like Last of Us stealthy thing.
Yeah.
Oh man, Back to the Future, but I don't know. Other than the Telltale series, what you can do with that?
A prestige Telltale game. Huh?
You have my interest.
There you go. There you go. Now with that,
God, Inception, the game.
No, that'd make me throw up. Listen, Kyle, we've almost spent 50 minutes talking about a Star Wars. All right, it's time to get into some PlayStation sadness. Kyle, would you like to break the news for all these wonderful folks out there?
Let's talk about a star that has died out. This comes from Sarmina Khan over at PS Lifestyle. Sony has officially retired the Killzone franchise's website. Sony Interactive Entertainment has announced that it's retiring the official Killzone series website, and visitors will now be redirected to PlayStation.com. While this change doesn't affect the game's online modes, players will no longer be able to create or manage clans in Killzone's Shadowfall. A notice reads, quote, Dear Killzone.com visitor, the official website for the Killzone franchise has retired. Going forward, visitors to Killzone.com will be directed to PlayStation.com. While this change doesn't affect the online multiplayer modes, player statistics or ranking data for Killzone Mercenary and Killzone Shadowfall, it is now no longer possible to create or manage clans in Killzone Shadowfall. We apologize for this inconvenience. Thank you to Killzone.com's many fans and visitors throughout the years for their enthusiasm and support. Sincerely, Gorilla. This development comes a month after internet sleuths noticed that Killzone has been left out of PlayStation Studios' official webpage. In the, quote, Our Studios, end quote, section, Sony lists all of its first-party developers and the video games that they are known for. When it comes to Guerrilla Games, the only title listed is Horizon Zero Dawn, and there's no mention of Killzone anywhere. A strange omission.
You'd think after, like, what, a decade plus with this franchise?
6 games?
5-6 games? That is really weird. It's kind of disrespectful.
It is, yeah.
Like, I get it. It's not as memorable, or I don't think any of the Killzones were anywhere near reaching the success that Horizon has, right? So
no, Shadowfall, I think, is the closest.
You think so?
I didn't enjoy 1 through 3, like, at all. Shadowfall, I finished the story.
I love the multiplayer.
But it was fun.
Yeah. I love the multiplayer Shadowfall. I really do. I just didn't like... I thought the premise was too obvious of just like, oh, this is space Nazis. Which, again, I love me punching a good Nazi, whether they're space Nazis, the real deal, or whatever have you, or Imperials, right? But at the same exact time, it was like beating you over the head of like... It was like there's you could take inspiration and then you could just like straight up copy real world events and then put a futuristic, aesthetic over it. And that's kind of what I felt like with Killzone. So you're not sad about this news about Killzone retiring or being put to rest?
No, I'm not.
Possibly.
It's still like, I mean, we just said it. It's so weird for them to not even include it. Mm-hmm. Like, not even to have it on a list of credits for what Guerrilla has done. Like, It makes it seem like Guerrilla's first game is Horizon. Mm-hmm. And that is obviously not the case. And so I'm a little weird about that. I don't know what the thought process behind it is. I am more intrigued because I could have sworn that Guerrilla's second team might have been working on a Killzone game. Mm-hmm. So what you doing, Guerrilla? What are you doing over there?
That's exactly what, because so retiring the website, I don't think it means it's completely dead. I do think it could come back. I do think in my heart of hearts, because they do have the Rainbow Six Siege directors working on this game, that they are making some type of like Killzone multiplayer game, because I really do think the thing that Sony is missing is a first person shooter for sure in their portfolio. They need to diversify a little bit here. So for me, I do think they're still working at it. I think retiring it doesn't mean it's over. Doesn't mean it's dead.
Sure.
At the same exact time, though, what could this mean is the rumor on the block is that Horizon sequel, what is it? Forbidden West. I always say a New Dawn. I don't know. Forbidden West is going to have a co-op element to it. Is this second team working on that co-op element? Makes you think.
Because I know in the... Oh, God. I think it was the No Clip documentary on the first game, which 100% should be watched. No Clip are fantastic.
Yeah.
They in the early days of Horizon 1, there was a co-op element to it.
Yeah.
And they completely scrapped it because it wasn't working.
And now with the Power of 5, like, is it like, the PS5 version, you get the co-op, PS4, you don't?
Yeah, I'm a little... I don't know if I'll ever do that mode. I mean, obviously, I'll play co-op with you just to see how it is. But, like, that's leaning more towards Monster Hunter, I feel like, with, like, these giant robot dinosaurs.
That would
and
be
play
cool.
co-op to, like, take them down. It would be cool, I guess, in theory, but I want my story with Aloy to be a single thing.
Okay. Yeah, I do want that second team, whatever they're working on, to be their own thing. It would be cool though. Like the rumor every time there's a state of play is that SOCOM. So maybe this team is working on a SOCOM game. Who knows? The sky's the limit. But Hidden Doors writes in, and she writes, with the possible end of Killzone upon us, are there any other series / franchises that you would like to see wrapped up? Alternatively, are there any that you would love to bring back from the dead? This is a good one.
This is a good one.
Is there any you'd like to see wrapped up, Kyle?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think after last year, I could definitively say, we don't need any more Last of Us. Whoa. That story, I think, is completely wrapped up.
Right.
I am fine where that is ended. Mm-hmm. Of course, am I not going to play a third one if it eventually comes out? Of course I am.
Is it because of those dumb SJW Subway beta cucks that ruined
no, they're not. They're not going to ruin shit for me. That game's awesome.
Right.
I think that is perfectly wrapped up. Yeah. It is perfectly wrapped up. I don't need to set foot in that Last of Us universe with a new story at all. But to Hidden Doors' second question.
Okay.
I beat this drum all the time. I hit the drum earlier. Give me Resistance, you cowards. Where is this game? Also, how dare you people out there who follow me on Twitter? How dare you? I did that thing where you do the thinking bubble, the thought bubble.
I did what you're thinking about, obviously.
Sure, I guess. Boring. Your face is killing me. I put Joseph Capelli in there, who is the lead in Resistance 3, and I got no love on that. How dare you? Resistance deserves to keep going. I want to fight Chimera Resistance 3 is fantastic. I want more of that world. That could be the shooter that PlayStation is missing.
So what I would like to see go is not The Last of Us. I think you're going to get one more. Daddy thinks you're going to get one more Last of Us.
Abby and Lev?
No, I can't say it without spoiling the second one. But I think you're going to get one more of those. I do want to see the end of Uncharted. I think where we've left it is fantastic.
Nope.
And I don't know if it's going to carry the same weight with a different protagonist.
Nope. I disagree with you on that one.
But it's also like at this point, like when it comes to video games, they're all franchises. They're all never going to end if they still print money, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure.
And I think a good analogy as well is like you could retire a franchise and it comes back. And I think the best example of that is God of War, right? You could reinvent how that game works. So like a game that I would love to see come back is Resistance, Kyle. Because I want to see, I forget who said it, but like the alternative fires of those weapons and on the PS5 controller, like give that to me.
Yes.
And with PlayStation being at an all-time high, to have Insomniac go back and go, okay, so what did we get right here? What did we get wrong here? How do we modernize it? I think that's a great way to kind of, bolster that portfolio with something that there is a cult following to. There is a cult following to Resistance. Or Killzone. One of the two.
Yeah. That's another thing, like along with Killzone, or I mean even less so, like it is really hard if you are a PS4 and PS5 owner if you hear about Resistance, it's real hard to play that game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on PS Now, which is shocking that it's not on PS Now. You have the Vita game, which we don't really need to talk about. It wasn't that good. But like it's shocking how the two Sony first-person shooters are just not talked about.
Yeah.
They're not being brought up in a conversation of things to be brought back, and I find that weird. Like where Xbox has Halo,
right?
Well, it's not first person. I was going to say Nintendo has Splatoon, but that's not a first.
That's one of the best third-person shooters ever made. That's fine.
But like Sony doesn't have that. Sony doesn't have like that kind of game in their portfolio, and it sucks because I want to play a first-person shooter with the DualSense.
Yeah, and I think that I think you hit it on the head. That's why I don't want to see Killzone gone. I don't want to see Resistance gone either, because I think the problem with those games where they're like, we're the Halo killer. Watch out, Master Chief, you cool son of a bitch. I'm coming for the gold here. And it's just like, no, you're just focus on being your own thing. Mm-hmm. Stop marketing it like we're going to take down the Master Chief. You're not. He stood the test of time. Every time he's not in a Halo, people all freak out except if it's Reach because it's amazing. But like, and possibly the best one. But like that said, like Master Chief is a staple. Stop. It's kind of like when people try to go after Mario. You can't. Mario could do anything. He could turn into a Super Saiyan cat. We're gonna love it. We're all in it for it. So I think you're right. I think they need a shooter. I'd love for Resistance to come back. Killzone has a cool aesthetic. It just doesn't need to beat me over the head with its themes. And I think they got something there. Or if they're just like, they want to Apex Legends it, and they're just like, it's a multiplayer only thing. This is like after the war, and everybody's cool with like, this is practically Nerf guns or whatever they want to do. However Apex even tackles it. That would be a way to go for me.
Even if it's not Killzone and Resistance coming back, but give me a brand new IP in a sci-fi setting that is a first-person shooter. Yeah, I don't want a realistic. Mm-hmm. I don't want like a history-based first-person shooter from them.
I don't want like a modern day insert a Five-Finger Death Punch song. You're in the desert shit, right? Yeah, no, give me something where I'm in like a special spaceship. Yeah,
give me some cool-looking guns that have cool alternative fires and different modes. Yeah, that's what I want.
You know what? Talking about a game that has different alternative fires is set in a space or moon. I don't know. Let's talk about the next story on the list. That is Returnal on the PS5. That's a new trailer.
Giuseppe Nelva from Twinfinite writes, Returnal for PS5 gets new trailer, screenshots, and details focusing on combat. Today, Sony Interactive Entertainment and Housemarque had a reveal to make for the upcoming PS5 game Returnal. The weapons. Celine will have many weapons and devices at her disposal to survive on the hostile alien planet Atropos. It's the first time we've heard her name. Celine, right?
I think it's the first time we've heard of the planet. But I think Celine is... Yeah, I think Celine's right.
Some she's brought with her. Others she's found and made her own. As you progress, you'll unlock and add on various weapon traits, each providing a unique gameplay modifier to the base weapon's behavior. These weapon traits are custom tailored for each gun type. So your Spitmaul Blaster might gain exploding shells or generate acid pools upon impact, while the Electropylon Driver might extract extra loot from enemies or generate shields for the player. These weapon traits will also stack, so the combined effects can lead to many surprising results that can have unique advantages and playstyles to explore. With 10 base weapons, more than 90 weapon traits, each with 3 levels, and 10 alt fires, there are numerous weapon combinations to test out on your journey. While new weapon drops are frequent, Celine can only hold one weapon at a time, so your choice is important.
I'm going to stop you right there. So in this 2-minute trailer, it does show you the different type of weapons that you get to pick out, you get to choose. It definitely is giving me Dead Cells vibes. In terms of you die, you come back, and you have some things, some of your progression stays, but you're back at square one. And Dead Cells, fantastic game. And so that's like the weapon style and right now, coming back from life, we're going to get to the progression in a second. I'm in on this. I really am. I think it sounds solid so far. The thing that gets me really excited is the alt fire being the pressure you press on your DualSense controller. That's something that's really awesome. And I think that's something that I hope we get to see more of in future games. So
yeah, I'm with you on that one for sure. I'm a big fan of these weapon traits stacking. Mm-hmm. I want to get weird with it. I want those acid pools also generate a shield for me and will light people on fire. Yeah. I want chaos.
Yeah, I want to see how that works. Like because you can only make or hold one weapon at a time. So how do those traits stick around with you? And am I shooting electricity while shooting regular bullets while spewing fire? How that's going to look? That's going to be intense on that CPU, that GPU. That works for us.
In the trailer, at the end, she gets a sword.
Right.
Is one of the things, am I going to be able to throw the sword like Captain America's shield and have it come back to me? Is that a thing that's possible? Right. Because that'd be cool.
Yeah. And the combat itself very much feels like a, Housemarque, arcade game as well, which I think might get some people to ding it. But honestly, Housemarque has made some of the best arcade games that the combat alone has me intrigued because it's something I haven't seen before. Sure. When you're seeing these these bolts that kind of take up the whole screen and you kind of have to do these weird dodges out of them, it gives me those arcade vibes that I'm totally in on.
Yeah. For sure.
Let's get to the progression.
For Celine, death is no escape. Each death sends Celine to the start of the time loop, just moments before crashing on the planet. Most abilities and items collected on the previous cycle will be lost, but not all of them. Some persist across sessions, so you'll still make progress every cycle. One of these persisting elements is the mysterious Cthonos, an alien device that generates a random item at the beginning of each cycle. This otherworldly device is tracking your performance, and when enough progress is accumulated, you will be rewarded with a brand new item for immediate use, which will also be permanently added to the pool of available loot from that point on as well. The items you earn or discover as you explore the planet will change the way you play and offer a wide array of effects and strategic options for Celine. There's plenty of loot to be found on Atropos, but be wary that not all that glitters is gold. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I got the lyric from Sugar Ray.
Right?
No, Smash Mouth.
Yeah.
some items called parasites have both positive and negative effects. You'll need to think twice before picking up a parasite that, for example, regenerates you while at low health, but also causes enemies to leave behind a pool of acid on death.
So that's pretty cool. Again, this is giving me a lot of like a AAA Dead Cells vibes to it.
Yeah, Rogue Legacy.
Yeah, roguelite. Like this very much screams roguelite. While the combat itself, when I take a look at it, it does also at the same exact time, and bear, like hold with me on this one, gives me Unreal Tournament type of vibes, but like in third person, like the way weapons shoot and the way movement kind of feels, gives me like the feeling of when I'm spectating an Unreal Tournament game of like how crazy the movement actually is. That's the vibes I was getting. I don't know. What say you about this? What vibes were you getting? Are you where's your hype meter after seeing the trailer itself?
My hype meter is still high. Okay. It's not as high as I thought it would be. There's just something about watching this trailer, and this is not to be meant as a ding or something. It just still feels like a smaller indie Housemarque game, like an Alienation,
right?
Or something along that ilk. Just because, like you said, yeah, the shooting, the bullets that are flying, the way the character is moving, it's Housemarque to a T.
Yes,
that is how Housemarque games are being played. So while this is like their bigger budget game, and obviously they had more money to put into it, it still feels kind of small. And again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It just it's just going to be a game where all the story is going to be told by in-game lore and pickups. I don't know if I'm down for that. I want cutscenes. I want to see that creepy thing of what's going on in her head and what's behind that door. Like, what are we going to get? Like story cutscenes, or we only going to get a couple, like when you're crash landing and her trying to figure it out, and then everything else is told in game?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think we're skeptical because when we think of a PlayStation exclusive, we do think of these big cinematic moments, and we haven't seen many of those big cinematic moments. And yeah, this game is very, very different from what we expect a PlayStation exclusive to be. Open world action adventure game. This is, again, an action roguelike, and to see that might make us a little skeptical. And to me, I'm hyped for this game. I'm excited to play it. But I don't like when I'm looking at it, I'm not like, oh, this is my game of the year right here. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking this is gonna be a solid game. It's not gonna blow my skirt up, type of thing.
And I think that will 100% probably change is when we play it.
Yeah.
Like, if it feels so good to play, like, obviously it's going to be high up there for us.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to this, out of any game that we're looking forward to from the PlayStation slate this year, I think this would benefit a lot if there was a demo of this game on the store.
I think so, too. Do you think, though, like, as well, like, the price tag is going to hurt this game? $70?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's odd to think about. A Housemarque game being $70, and
we're expecting it to be like, oh, this is a PlayStation Plus game.
Yeah,
or
it's $20
bucks. Yeah, exactly. And I do think, and
I want to know how big it is before I'm all in on 70. How long is it going to take me to go through this planet?
Right. Like,
is it satisfying? How many different parts of the planet are we going to? Is it all going to look like that dark thing that's in the trailer? Or are those 10 guns gonna look and feel worth it to experiment with each one? Like, I there's still a lot of questions when it comes to Returnal for me, whether I want to throw down $70 on this game right now.
I do. I'm right there with you. I think we need a state of play on this game to get us to see why I need to be so hyped. But I do want to see, because I think our hype for this game is the reputation of Housemarque.
Absolutely.
I do want to see a more like a 10-minute breakdown of like, this is what the game's about, this is what you can kind of expect, here's what the gameplay looks like. We saw what we saw with Last of Us. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I think this is going to be a solid game, but $70, man? We're getting to the point where like, I would love to see PlayStation have a true Game Pass competitor. We're starting to see it with like what is it, Luna and Stadia. We're Stadia. We're starting to see them start to break out with these pass alternatives. I think with games getting more pricier, we do need alternatives for the average gamer out there. I think this game could benefit from that for sure. That being said, Kyle.
Yeah.
Here's a game you can't be hyped for because it's not coming out this year.
Hogwarts Legacy is delayed until 2022. This comes from the Hogwarts Legacy Twitter. Quote, "We would like to thank fans from around the world on the tremendous reaction to the announcement of Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy from our Portkey Games label. Today's announcement reads, creating the best possible experience for all the Wizarding World and gaming fans is paramount to us, so we are giving the game the time it needs. Mm-hmm. Hogwarts Legacy will be released in 2022.
Oof. Kyle.
You're not going to hit me with a spell before you ask me any questions?
No, I'm going to hit you with a question from Griffin West, who writes in, with Hogwarts Legacy getting delayed till 2022, do you think this will be a pattern for most 2021 games that are vaguely stated for the last half of this year? For example, Horizon, God of War, RE8, Gotham Knights, etc.
All right. So I think we are going to get more delays.
Yeah.
I mean, COVID is not just a 2020 thing. Mm-hmm. It is still a thing.
Right.
And it doesn't seem like it's slowing down any second.
Plandemic, if you ask me, Kyle.
If I get, Joe.
Yes.
Off topic. I'm sorry, everybody. If I get another phone call from the school district mm-hmm. on another consecutive day mm-hmm. to check the website for COVID-related news, and I see 6 more kids in the district getting tested positive, or 3 other staff members getting tested positive, I'm gonna lose my damn mind.
Yeah.
What kids? I'm not angry about the kids.
Right.
I'm not angry about the kids. As a teacher or someone that works in a school, you should be setting the example. Stay the fuck home.
Yeah. Yeah.
End of rant. Mini rant there. But yeah, COVID's still a thing, so I still think some of these games will get delayed.
Yeah.
I think leaning towards you on this one. God of War is not going to be a 2021 game. I think Cory Barlog recently tweeted he's having writer's block or something, so like he's probably not even done with the story.
No, he's fucking with us.
I'm sure he is.
He's definitely
but
fucking
like,
with us.
God, I love you, Cory. Yeah. Come on the show, Cory.
Please.
We would love to have
anytime.
You. Horizon has to hit this year.
Yes.
Or PlayStation's in big trouble with a big game in the holiday season.
Do you think it's really coming out holiday?
I think it's going to be that September Spider-Man kind of time slot.
Okay.
RE8, I'm up in the air about. I don't know if it's going to get delayed or not. Gotham Knights has been in development for a long-ass time.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think that one gets delayed.
Yeah, I think so. They're talking so much about Gotham Knights that I think this game, they know they have a solid roadmap for it. I even think that possibly, if it wasn't the Rona, this game would have been probably first half of this year. I think that's how close they were. Just by the way they're talking about it, and I think they're talking about Gotham Knights so much. If you see their social media so active, because Hogwarts Legacy is delayed. Mm. So, Kyle, my next question for you is Hogwarts Legacy. It's delayed.
Yeah.
You a little bummed about it, or what?
Yeah, I'm bummed. Yeah. I mean, I've said before when this got revealed that this is a dream game of mine. Mm-hmm. Being able to create my own character, student, to go to Hogwarts and become
just take out a student wizard loan.
Yeah.
Is this a subsidized wizard
potions
loan?
interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dream game of mine, so I'm bummed I won't be playing it this year. But I'm fine with them taking the time they need. I think there's something in this statement that gives me a little bit of hope.
Yeah, what's that?
It's because it says creating the best possible experience for all the Wizarding World and gaming fans. So I'm wondering if they are figuring out a way to distance themselves from JK.
Okay.
Of trying to make this easier for people who are conflicted about it, like myself, of whether to play this game in support of her.
Right.
So I think that I might be reading way too much into it, but take all the time you need. Porky Games. Yeah. I want this to feel like I want it to feel like, and be a good game at the end of the day.
Yeah. I'm not upset about the delay, especially when you look hindsight of games like Cyberpunk that just, was pushed out, and then it was so buggy. Then now all of a sudden, a month after the game's release, you got the co-founder of the studio going, "Hey gang, looks like we messed up, but here's a roadmap, and the next gen version ain't coming out till later this year."
God, what a timeline too!
Yeah,
just dropping things just randomly without months. You cowards, put the months out there.
But listen. Take your time. Don't rush it. And I like that approach as well. Here is it's like we're not rushing it. We're taking our time. We're all in our homes right now. And you're right. I think your rant prior is just like people are going to get sick. People are going to have to take care of loved ones. Like work is slowing down to a halt at this point. So I do think that you're going to see way more games get delayed, Griffin. Like, going back to that, like, you're going to see a whole lot more. I think RE8, you don't have to, but I think a lot of games that should have been out the first half of this year are going to be second half this year. Like, the rumor has it, like, Mass Effect, the Legendary Edition, right? That game was supposed to come out this last holiday, coming out supposedly in March. Yeah. And we're fake fans, but we're excited. So, like, to me...
No, say it correctly. Apparently, I'm the fake fan.
Right, I'm sorry. Kyle's the fake fan. I'm the real one. I didn't finish Mass Effect 3 because it's not
cap.
Good. Yeah. So, that's the thing. I do think games are getting delayed, getting pushed back by a few months. But, yeah, I don't think it's the end of the world either. I think this year's going to be a little slow when it comes to game releases. And I think we got to be understanding on that.
Something that wasn't on Griffin's list, but... I mean, we don't even have a date for it yet, so technically it wouldn't be like a delay, but do you think Ratchet gets pushed to the fall?
No, I think Ratchet is probably a May release.
That's what I'm thinking, too.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're going to do like every other month type of deal when it comes to Sony. Sony likes to put their things out in the first half of this year and get them good feelings. So,
God of War, Horizon, both beginning of the year kind of games.
I think the only one that kind of bucked that trend, if I'm not mistaken, this could be COVID fog. I get to blame that for a few more weeks, is Spider-Man. Right? That was
Spider-Man was September.
Yeah, and I don't think there's like another big Sony game that like launched in September.
Uncharted was May. Last of Us, usually, the first one was May. This one was what, July? June, July?
And I mean, take launch as well out of the equation.
Sure. Yeah.
Asterisks on that.
Yeah, I can't think of another major Sony game that has launched like in September.
And I think this year you could do that if you're Sony. Because I do think with games being pushed back so much, you could have Horizon out there in September and people will eat that shit up, and that will be the thing that drives people to buy more PS5s.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So let's wander our way out of here.
I hate you. Kyle Willock over at Screen Rant.
How do they get out of trouble in Harry Potter? What do they do?
God, they either apparate, they use flue powder if they're next to a fireplace, they use a port key.
Wait, a flute powder?
Flue powder.
Flute powder.
They say the destination they want to go, and then they throw this powder into the fireplace, make it green, hop in, and it transport them where they need to go.
Next topic, Alakazam.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Kyle Wheelock over at Screen Rant writes, PS5 is selling worse than any Sony home console in Japan's history. It has recently been revealed that Sony's PlayStation 5 is selling worse in Japan than any other home console in the country's recent history. This news comes after many Japanese fans and analysts publicly accused Sony of not taking the Japanese market seriously. PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan denied the validity of these accusations, but recent developments have suggested otherwise. Outside of Japan, the PS5 has been incredibly popular, resulting in console shortages right from the outset of its launch, although finding a PS5 should be easier this year. Of course, the PS5 also faced supply shortages in Japan due to COVID-19 production difficulties, but it seems that the console has not been met with the same widespread praise in Sony's home nation. Despite the PlayStation 4 being so well received globally, it sold less than both the Nintendo GameCube and PS3 in Japan, and only narrowly outsold the Dreamcast, which was only on the market for 3 years.
Yeah.
A trend that would continue with Sony's latest console. Yeah. For the PlayStation 5 to be lagging so far behind its predecessor is likely not something Sony wants to see occur in its own backyard.
So, Kyle. PS5 not selling well in Japan. You know what that means? This thing is a failure. This console's already dead.
We've been duped. Why'd we buy one?
We've been duped. This podcast is over, gang. You know, Xbox One. Phil Spencer finally put the nail in the coffin after they sold 700 Xbox Series in Japan.
Welcome to the Dreamcast room. We're talking all about VMUs, baby.
Woo! Sega, never gonna die.
Crazy Taxi.
Okay, real talk. This isn't big news. This is something we've been talking about for a while, and everybody was really surprised about this. Like, some people are like, "Is this because Xbox is making moves in Japan?" It's like, no. Again, they literally, I think, last month only sold 700 Xboxes. Like, people have to realize, I think, when it comes to this, is two things. First, the Japanese market has changed. You see the Japanese, or not really changed. It's always been, but now it's very much in the direction of there are more portable-based gaming, community out there. And I wonder how COVID has affected Japanese society and culture, because it's all about people walking around on trains, playing. Like, I remember Monster Hunter is huge over there on PSP back in the day because of its portability and the Wi-Fi. And so, like, Switch is huge over there because it's portable and they get to take it around and they get to dock it at home. So, like, when I take a look at that, I'm like, okay, so, like, the demographics have changed in Japan where it's not as lucrative as it once was. At the same exact time, PlayStation is now considered an American company. Their headquarters is in California. And I get the way I'm talking, and I sound like Tucker Carlson, and I apologize. But, like, people have to add up, connect the dots here. It's like, like, this is a more Americanized company. They are doing gangbusters everywhere else. I don't see the big alarm here. I don't know. What say you, Kyle?
I don't think it's as big of a deal myself either.
Yeah.
I also think, like, it's going to go up eventually.
Right.
It has to.
Yeah, I think they sold like around like 20,000. So it's not like they're doing piss poor. It's just like, again, demographics are changing.
Mm-hmm. Part of me also thinks that maybe the launch lineup might not have been as extremely strong in Japan as it is here, as far as games offered. Like, obviously, Demon's Souls is a big deal.
Yeah.
Because it's it's a Sony Japan game.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
The only way to go up is... The only way to go is up when it comes to...
I like the other way you see it. Yeah. To me, it also speaks to the fact of how now Sony has to start pivoting. Like, look, we got GeForce Now. Again, I'm going to beat the horse here, but, like, you got xCloud, you've got Luna, you got these, competitors making headway in gaming, or trying to make headway in gaming with these cloud services. There is a reason why, in South Korea, I think Xbox gaming went up by like 300% because people got to experience Xbox games on their phones. And I think that's what PlayStation really needs is a huge shot in the ass for PlayStation Now to put games on that service so that people can start playing them on their phones and make it competent, make a good app, make a solid app. That, again, I can go play my Uncharted's or my Spider-Man or whatever the case may be, Returnal, while I'm on the subway in Japan. Mm-hmm. That's what Sony needs to do. I think they need to start pivoting, and I think they know that. But only time will tell.
To me, it sounds like you're making a great case for Vita 2. And you know what? I'm on board for this.
Dude, if Vita 2 is literally just a controller you put your iPhone on, I'm game. You know?
Sure.
That's what I want. That's all Daddy ever really needs.
That's all Daddy needs.
With that, again, at the same exact time, because this headline was so clickbaity, Jim Ryan did announce PlayStation 5 was the most successful launch in PlayStation history. And I also love the fact that we are getting away from sales numbers, right? Like I don't need to know every month how many PlayStations have sold. I get that, like, they're there, but they're not as prevalent. I dig that. I really do. Because I think, like, the whole, like, it's lack of better words, it's like masturbatorial. You know, like, my system's so bad. It's so stupid. It's so dumb. So I like that they're moving away from that. I don't know. Just me. That said, Kyle, let's move to the last segment of the show. You ready? Andrew?
I am, but really quickly, before we get into your thieving ways.
I don't know if they're thieving.
I miss the drop. I miss holding on to things.
I know.
I miss picking weird games every week to highlight. What are you doing, Sony? Is that coming back anytime soon?
I gotta figure out a different way. I think Kotaku now categorizes games every week.
Okay.
So I gotta find a way. Because I would love, prepare Andrew House's snail mail. There you go. It's the closest thing we got. But yeah,
I'll take it.
The drop needs to come back. I miss it so very much. Andrew House's snail mail. Each and every week, Joseph steals a piece of mail from Andrew House. This week, we have 2 pieces of mail. Are you ready?
You're ready.
Awesome Dave writes in, is there a particular game you want to revisit on the PlayStation 5 to take advantage of the upscale and edit? Are there any games that don't have an announced PS5 update that you're thinking will receive one this year?
Easy one on that second one.
Yeah?
Death Stranding. Give me that PS5 update on Death Stranding.
That true 4K, 60 FPS. Still don't know what the hell's going on.
Yes, please. I need a reason to go back and finish that platinum.
Yeah.
What game do I want to revisit on PS5?
I got one.
I mean, I'm getting one in February with the PS5 version, Control.
Okay.
I'm very excited to play that game again and the DLC for the first time ever. Yeah. So I guess that's my answer for right now.
I think one game that I want to revisit with the upscaling, like just true, 60 FPS, is Sekiro. I want to give Sekiro another chance. It's just that game for me was like, hey, take everything we've ever taught you and just unlearn it. That's really hard. And parrying, for me, I'm never good at in those games. Always love a good dodge. And Sekiro relies on you having to parry. So, for me, I would love to see if 60 FPS gets me back in it. I would really love to see that. And a game that doesn't have an announced PS5 update that you're thinking will receive one this year, that one's difficult, man. I would do The Last of Us Part 2. I would love to see how that game gets that update. Are we going to ever get factions? Are we going to see what this game feels like, runs like in true, just steady 60 FPS and true, steady 4K? Yeah. Like, that would be fan-freaking-tastic. Yeah.
Another one that I want to take advantage of, the upscaling part of it, is Borderlands 3. There's a lot of DLC I haven't touched. And I've heard that upscaling is really good.
Okay.
It fixes a lot of the menu stuff, and a lot of the slowdown, and I should probably pop that in. I'm thinking, I was complaining earlier, like, there are no first-person shooter games that I want to actually, and I want to play one, so maybe I'll do that. Next week I'll report back.
Okay. Have you seen some of my Call of Duty clips?
Yeah, I know. You're good at Call of Duty.
I'm disgusting. Someone should slap me with a fine, because what I'm doing should be illegal.
I'm gonna see you on SportsCenter during the esports MLG moments.
You're gonna see me in a jersey. I always think the jerseys are just you're overdoing it. What do you need a jersey playing in esports?
I think that's dope as all hell.
Really?
I would love a jersey. Hell yeah, man.
Just give me a T-shirt that says my name, and that's all you need. I don't need you
gotta go all out. Yeah? You gotta feel like part of the spectacle.
Next, I'm gonna have elbow pads, knee pads. In case I fall off my chair, need a helmet of some sort.
Gotta get those carpal tunnel gloves on.
Carpal tunnel gloves. You know?
Yeah.
A bucket. I don't know.
A bucket.
Think of South Park. That said, Kyle. That said, esports being a little ridiculous with their jersey choices. Metal Kirby writes in, with Jim Ryan saying it's beginning to expand Sony's. Sorry, it's the beginning of Sony's expansion into new media. And Tony, and I'm gonna butcher your name, Vinciqueria, saying they are planning.
Vinciqueria, I would have said.
Vinciqueria. Is that Italian?
I have no idea.
Vinciqueria. Yeah, I think it. Saying that they're planning on doing 7 TV shows and 3 movies. Damn. My question is this. What IP would you like to see made into a movie, and what IP would you like to see as a TV show? Personally, since we haven't gotten a Siphon Filter game in years, God, you're speaking my goddamn language, I wouldn't mind seeing a show or a movie. P.S. Don't forget about the Metal Gear movie. I would never.
Haven't forgotten. Oh, man. A Siphon Filter TV show in the vein of, like, 24 would be fucking badass. Dude, I would love that.
Fucking just put Kiefer in it. You got the technology to de-age him. CGI his face. Whatever you need to do.
Absolutely. I've been itching to watch 24 again.
Yeah.
Like, really bad.
Same here. I think there was, like, one time, I forget what it was, but, like, he jumped on a guy and he cracked his neck with his legs or something. Like, he did a weird flip, and I was just like, yo, this is on basic cable. This show fucking slaps. Like, you give me that.
My story of me being a fan of 24 is wild, because I watched 6 of those seasons within a month. And that's all I watched.
And here's the thing. There are, like, times, like, there are seasons, because, like, it's 24 hours, right? Yeah. Something crazy happens, and he has to save the day or whatever. He's always, like, he finds the love of his life, and then, like, I think it was, like, season 8, he, like, makes love to him or whatever, and, like, she was very fine. She was very attractive. And then all of a sudden, bam, headshot. Like, she dies. It's just, like, every other season.
Every time.
Guy couldn't find love. He finds it, and then an hour, bam, dead. Like, what's going on?
I enjoyed the first couple episodes of the new 24 that's not Kiefer.
Oh, shit, there was, right?
But I didn't finish that season. But it felt very much like 24, which I appreciated. But getting back to Metal Kirby's question.
Can I be honest? This past week just feels like 7 seasons of 24.
Absolutely. Oh, my God. Why haven't we done that? Let's do a quarantine 24 of our lives.
And it's just us sitting watching CNN in terror.
For 3 hours of those 24, it's just, my controller's dead. What am I going to do? Where's the cable?
Sorry, back to the question at hand.
Yeah, what Sony stuff do I want in a TV show form or movie form? I'll be honest with you, Joe.
Uh-huh.
I would love a Bloodborne movie.
Yeah?
A creepy-ass, gothic horror movie? Or even TV series. That'd be really cool.
Honestly,
those visuals would be fantastic.
You know what I would love so very much? Give me a Spider-Man in this universe TV show.
All right.
Like, in the vein of Amazing Spider-Man in the 90s. I want to see the Spider-Man do cool shit.
Oh, you want it to be animated?
Yeah, give me animated. But don't give me, like, you know, like Beast Wars CGI. I'm talking animated, like,
I get you.
Drawn and whatnot.
Like the Harley Quinn show.
Like the Harley Quinn show. Exactly. Except not as vulgar.
Not as
vulgar. I love this Spider-Man so very much. I just want to see more of him. And it could be tackling smaller stories as well. I don't know. Yeah. That would be pretty cool. Man. What's another one? I
mean, Horizon's also an easy answer.
Yeah. But, like, how would you do a Horizon show?
I think that would be better movie-wise. Yeah. A Horizon movie.
And you know what is crazy? Oh. And everybody said it. Like, tomorrow we're going to get the Uncharted trailer. With,
oh, my God, yes.
With everybody's favorite. What's his name?
Tom Tomlin?
Tom Tomlin, yeah. Like, we're gonna get that, and it's so crazy because Indiana Jones getting a video game, Hobgoblin getting an Uncharted movie. Like, that's just nuts. That's just crazy. How they've kind of flipped it. So like, what's a video game I would like to see out of a TV show?
Other way around. What video game do you want to see as a TV show?
Sorry, what video?
Not a TV show as a video game.
Dude, give me a Ghost of Tsushima show.
Right?
Yeah, just give me like a roaming samurai. Like I am thinking of like the Mandalorian because it is practically just that. But like, I mean, it is. Like, give me more of that. We don't get enough good like samurai media anymore. You know?
That's fair.
Like, what's the last we really got? Kill Bill?
Less.
Like
is Tom Cruise one after Kill Bill, or is that before?
Oh, people don't like the Tom Cruise one.
I know they don't. I haven't seen it, so I have
okay. And real talk, it's fucking awesome. And I can't say because you get canceled because you're like, oh, I get it. It's whitewashing. I get it. But with all the whitewashing aside, that movie just fucking slaps so hard. It really does. So like, yeah, the last one we got was like The Last Samurai, which is like, dude, was he even really? This guy was from the Bronx. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think of other like not mainstream easy answers.
Yeah. Like Parappa
I think
the
a
Rapper.
Persona TV show would be cool.
Don't they already have like animes?
I'm talking like a live action.
Oh.
Like every couple episodes they go and try to tackle a new palace. That'd be cool.
All right.
Ready for this one?
Wait.
Because I looked over here on my wall of art.
Wait. Before you do.
Okay.
Persona 5. I'm right there with you. As like a Cobra Kai like show.
I haven't seen Cobra Kai yet.
Cobra Kai is fucking wild, and it is an anime amongst itself. Mm-hmm. It there's no real karate in it. There's no real karate, but you're so in it. I can see Persona capturing that because they're also like all kids, right? Yeah,
they're in school.
Yeah, and you can kind of see them deal with being the Phantom Thieves while being in school and having that like super campy, but like it's you're still in for the ride. Yeah, that gets me pumped.
The one that looking over at my wall of art over here, give me a full length animated movie with Moss.
Oh my god, like a Pixar or a DreamWorks movie?
Yeah, a movie about Quill.
Real talk. Yeah. I just saw Mona for the first time. And
what movie?
Moana, sorry. Moana.
Whoa! Joe! We're about The Last Samurai canceling you. You called Moana Mona? What the fuck?
Cancelled. Yeah, Moana. Watch Moana for the first time. That movie's so colorful.
So good.
And I would love to see that.
Awesome.
Yeah, as like Moss as well. Like you could give me that colorful, vibrant, stuff. Yeah, I get it.
Mona.
I get it.
Oh,
and it's the thing is, I can't even edit that one out because that is truly hilarious. I can't walk that one back.
No, you can't.
Because I feel like I'm confusing it with another movie.
No.
It's just,
the word moan is in Moana. MOANA.
Oh yeah, I'm just being an idiot.
Mona.
Again, COVID fog. Can't cancel me. COVID fog.
I get it. Oh god, that's so funny.
God. Yeah, I feel like that's good. I feel like we've made. So we love 24. We feel bad for Kiefer.
Yeah. Final Fantasy movie. We've had those.
Yeah, we've had those. But like a Final Fantasy anime.
Or a TV show?
Well, didn't they kind of do that?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty close, right?
Yeah, they have a whole bunch of like cross media stuff that never hits.
Yeah, it is definitely hit or miss for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do a Death Stranding in any movie or TV, it's going to be equally as confusing.
True. Again, we can't forget about that Metal Gear movie. Like that guy.
Can't forget Metal Gear.
Yeah, the director of Godzilla, right? No.
Jordan. Yeah, no, he did
King
Skull
Kong.
Island.
Yeah, Skull Island, which was a great movie, by the way.
Jordan Voight Roberts, I think.
Yes.
Who's in Death Stranding?
Is he really?
He's one of the people you deliver packages to.
Huh.
He's the director in the game.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that guy has. He has a full plate on his shoulders.
Yes, he does.
That being said, Kyle, this is the longest episode of the Trophy Room of PlayStation podcast, opening up the first episode of 2021. Yeah. What an episode this was. This is fantastic. I loved every minute of it.
Same.
Yeah. Oh, we're back. We're back. We brushed off all the rust. We're here. We're better than ever. Let's do this. 2021.
Yeah.
We're not going to jinx it this time. Like we did first episode. It's like nothing bad's going to happen. And then at the end, terrorists.
Stay tuned to the Trophy Room on YouTube for our web series of Quarantine 24.
And it's just me making eggs.
We're out of milk. Oh no.
We have to go to the shop. We have to go to ShopRite. Boop, boop. Yeah.
Exactly. Bump bump. Bump bump.
Kyle, where can people find you, sir?
You can find me on Twitter at Mr. K-Step and on PlayStation, same name, Mr. K-Step. You can find everything I do on the indie game front over at 61indie.com and our podcast for 61indie Slice in the IndieCast, twitch.tv/61indie, Twitter 61indie, youtube.com/61indie. Yeah. Thank you for following me. I love you very much.
Yeah. And you can find me over at Mr. Babbitt. You can find me, or the show, over at Twitter at PS Trophy Room. You can find us on Discord. We have an amazing group of folks over there. So make sure you go in, hop in, make a few friends, ask us a few questions each and every week again on that Discord. Please rate us 5 stars over on Apple Podcasts. You can find this show on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Google Play, wherever you get your podcast services. You can find us there. So, with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody, keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation.
Love you. Be safe.